Sat Sri Akal and welcome to SKA Awaaz, Voices That Inspire. I'm your host Harpreet Kaur, and today we bring you a story that's full of heart, heritage and hard work. Our guests today represent the soul of a family business rooted in love, service and sacrifice. Mr Jagtar Singh, a veteran of Singapore's Punjabi community, has been feeding hearts and stomachs for decades through Riverwalk Tandoor and the food units he once ran at SKA. But behind this success lies a heartfelt story of responsibility, dreams and devotion. And joining him today is his daughter Sharon, who has stepped forward to carry this legacy with new vision and grace. Uncle Jagtar and Sharon, Sat Sri Akal and welcome to SKA Awaaz.
Sat Sri Akal.
Sat Sri Akal ji.
First of all, happy Vaisakhi.
Happy Vaisakhi to all.
Happy Vaisakhi.
Uncle, thank you for being here. Looking back, let's dive straight to history, all right? My question is, do you feel life shaped your story or did you shape your own destiny? कई बारी ज़िंदगी च ऐसी चाहते कुछ हो रहा ते हुंदा कुछ हो रहा. And I also understand that your father passed away it was very untimely. You were young. You had to feed and worry about 8 family members, if I'm not wrong. Everything happened really fast. There was responsibility on your head. I'm sure you had to give up your studies. How did you carry all that weight yourself, Uncle?
Yeah. I was 15 plus when my dad passed on. Mm-hmm. I was eldest of my 8 siblings.
Yep.
I left school at that time to continue in my father's the food stall at Selegie Road.
Sure.
I was eldest of 8 siblings.
Yeah.
There was this KK police station at Serangoon Road. Mm-hmm. Police officer there used to patronize our stall.
Yeah.
I then got admired them through their uniform, work, and joined the police force at the age of 18.
I see.
National service was also not introduced yet.
Okay, yeah.
I was already in the police.
I think you were in one of the first few batches in police force, right?
No, not exactly. Mm-hmm. Before me, the police, they were also trained in Kuala Lumpur, and they were very much more seniors.
Before you as well?
Oh, yes, of course.
All right. Uncle, I spoke to a very good friend of yours, Paramjeet Singh Parmar. Pamma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He told me the date that you became friends. On 10th July 1957. That's how long Uncle Pamma has been your friend. Something he clearly remembered about you was obviously how big-hearted you are and how you have always been giving. But when I was asking him about how you came into the business and how the food business came about, apart from the fact that your dad did it, and because there was a little bit of overlap between you joining the forces and stuff like that. So I think before you joined the forces, you were taking care of your dad's business, that shop, right?
Yes.
You took over that. But then he said one day, he said something like this, Sari Umar Tave Mure Nahi Khada Rahunga, something along those lines. So was that like an awakening, like, what am I doing, I want to do something more for myself. Was that how it happened, like how you joined the forces as well?
Yeah, I was quite inspired because of the police who always come there.
Yeah.
Then I joined the police.
Yeah. I think you were in the forces till you were about 45?
At the end of 1993. I wait 27 years service in the police.
Okay. All right.
At the same time, I was doing sewa in temple voluntarily.
Yes.
Working in the gurdwaras.
Yes.
So I had a passion for cooking, and I was always there in the kitchen area to do my langar sewa.
How did that passion come about, Uncle? Uncle Pamma mentioned that he would be there at 5 a.m. in the morning to learn how to make jalebis. He would go that extra mile.
Because at the age of 15, when I used to help my father, I used to see them cooking.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, why I also need to know how they do it.
Yeah.
So that was a big inspiration.
Yeah, clearly.
Yeah. Then I tried to learn all kind of cooking that can be done.
Yeah.
And the best place was the Gurdwara.
Yes.
Where I really catch up with what I really wanted.
Yeah.
And then until I retire, I immediately opened a restaurant at Upper Circular Road.
Yeah.
The building name was Riverwalk Galleria.
Okay.
So I gave the restaurant name as
Riverwalk
Tandoor also.
Yeah.
We were there for about 20 years until the COVID.
Yes. I think that was patronized by probably 3/4 of the Singaporeans Sikh community, right, Sharon? Yeah. Uncle, would you like to share certain things that you learnt in the police force?
Police force taught me discipline, honesty,
Yes.
how to meet up with people,
Very good.
what are their grievances. It was like a first response as a policeman. So there were a lot to learn. And in the police force, I was in various police divisions. I was in the gambling side. I was in the traffic. I was a mobile squad there. So I learned all kind of police job. And in the police only, you do all kind of jobs.
Yes. You mentioned just now that after a while, after you retired, you actually started your own restaurant. But before that, can you share with us what was happening in Khalsa Club? You started something here called Sharon Catering. How did that come about? And what was the experience here in Khalsa Club?
When I was already in the police, I already had a kitchen of my own. And before opening my restaurant, so that name was my first name, Sharona Catering. It followed with my daughter's name, Sharon. I just added an A. And in Khalsa Club, like all gurdwaras and all that, it was made in such a way that it was more like a gurdwara kitchen, like a community kitchen, where in Malay they say gotong royong, where people come, they give you all the food items, and you need to just prepare it. So with learning with all that, I become more and more stabilized, and then I just carry on, and that was history.
And you built Riverwalk Tandoor. Agree. Maybe I can let Sharon jump in a little bit. Sharon, welcome to SKA Awaaz.
Hello.
It's not every day a daughter steps into her father's shoes. Growing up, did you always want to, take over the family business, or did that decision come later, much later?
Actually, no. I kind of hated it. Because it took a lot of my parents' time from me.
Yes.
Yeah, so that that's what I can remember of my childhood. Yeah, so we actually grew up working. We actually grew up, like my dad was saying, do caterings for weddings, doing sewa at the Gurdwara. So Wilkie Road, there's a side the side Gurdwara. Now it's a school. So earlier there used to be function halls. I just remember that one day, which I still remember till today. We were so busy. We ended at 5 a.m. in the morning.
Wow. And
when we reached home, showered. Imagine, I was only maybe 10. So when we reached home, showered, and we slept all the way till 5 p.m. And my mom had to wake me up, wake up. I still cannot forget that day, because we were really so my dad, my dad said, everybody used to bring their stuff. We used to cook, and so I always tell my chefs, I said, do not teach me how to cook, because I can teach you how to peel a prawn. Where nowadays nobody can peel a prawn as well. Wow. Or peel a chicken, or gulab jamun, how to make it. So we used to do that. So we grew up doing that. People grew up playing with toys. We grew up playing with food.
You're mentioning we. I'm assuming you're talking about your 5 to 10 cousins who were also in the business.
Yes.
And so I remember
their friends.
And they are friends.
So
basically at that time you had no staff. So everybody who came to work for you was everybody around. So if there was a wedding, so the old ladies, they will come. They will make the chapatis. And so the staff, like friends of my cousins and everybody be like, okay, let's work. And that time was like $5 per hour or $4 per hour, but it was still money at that time.
That's right.
And so, and it was just super fun. It was really good fun.
Yeah.
It was a childhood to remember.
Interesting. So that brings me to my next question. Eventually you joined the business.
Yes.
You introduced new elements. Island catering is probably the most recent one.
Correct.
It's an extension of the business.
So myself and my cousin Jack, which he plays a very important role as well. So I'm more of the back end now. So he's come forward to actually promote island catering, which we went from North Indian to South Indian to now we do Thai, Malay, and even we have Filipino chefs. So it's quite diverse.
Yeah, you've expanded.
Correct.
Basically. You guys have also participated in F1, and I think there was much happening during COVID. Instead, you guys were more busy.
So COVID actually to us was a blessing. I wouldn't say it was a good blessing,
of course,
but it was a blessing in a way that everybody stood still. Time stood still for everyone.
That's right.
Except for us.
Yeah.
Except for the F&B industry. So we were supporting the Ministry of Manpower. We were providing food to the dormitories. And that was actually really good help. It helped because without that, we don't know what would have become of us.
Right. And how else are you keeping the family legacy alive, Sharon, apart from new, ideas and innovations, but yet making sure that a little bit or not more of Uncle Jaggar's touch, which everybody remembers, is still kept in the family business?
In the past few years, we used to actually ask him to come down and make jalebis. But we have stopped because, we don't want to. We actually want him to rest and we want him to enjoy his life to the fullest. But now we try to keep our dishes. Of course, every Punjabi family comes up to us and say, hey, I know Jaggar, so you better do a good event for us.
There's a pressure to live up to as well.
So we go like, okay, don't worry, you know Jaggar, we also know Jaggar, and we will do it our best.
Right. Uncle, just coming back to what Sharon just said, that, they are taking over and stuff and they want you to rest. So what do you do now that they have taken over? How do you pass your time?
Well, I go a lot more to gurdwaras.
Very nice.
And I do a lot of walking. And at times I even go and oversee how our staff is working.
Yes.
I have one restaurant now. At one time I was having 5 restaurants.
Yeah.
I was the main in-house caterer in Khalsa Club.
Yes.
Then I overlook everything. Then during my years in the police and restaurant running, I did not travel much. So nowadays I take time in traveling. So I enjoyed everything.
So you still have that advisory role above them, telling them how to do things a little bit.
Yeah. I have told them, you all keep working as though I'm not around.
Yeah. Sharon, you have clearly taken over, but working with family can be a little bit tough. What's been the 2 questions here? What's been the biggest lesson you have learned working with your dad? Maybe something valuable you have picked up, but also I realized that you are working with a lot of males around you. First of all, you have a lot of males in your first group of cousins. Then there is like you mentioned, Jack, there is your husband, and I think Jagdeep helps out a bit. Now, how is Sharon, the cousin, mom and wife, different from Sharon, the boss?
Well, I try not to bring my work home. So whenever my dad go like, Sharon, then I already know what he's saying. I said, then he puts a pause to me because I know he's going to talk about business.
Yeah.
Then I try to say, okay, let's discuss this in office.
Yeah.
Let's discuss this. I'm Sharon as a mom. She's I won't say I'm a hands-on mom.
Okay.
I'm just like kids, do whatever you want, but just do it proper.
Yeah.
And as for Jagdeep, yes, he has joined us actually full time, and he's studying as well.
Yeah.
So it's just a grooming period now.
Sure.
So I think for the next 10 years, because it doesn't take a day for you to climb.
Definitely.
And it doesn't take a day for you to know everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Sharon has a cousin or a sister. I think I'm a very nice person. But let's see, people have different opinions.
Fair enough.
Yeah, and Sharon at work, I guess a lot of times people say that without Sharon in the office, it's very quiet. So I guess I'm the peacemaker. I'm the Sharon Jeet, that I live up to my name.
What is the meaning of Sharon Jeet?
Peace winner.
Interesting. Let me just quickly go back to a little bit about what Uncle Pama said, Uncle Jagtar. He mentioned about your generosity, all right? I spoke to your ex, can I call her helper? Is it okay? Your ex-helper Jyoti, she had wonderful things to say about you. People remember you as, they remember you in two parts. Jagge da khana kade vi nahi mukya. And there was always plenty, all right? Yes, you were a caterer. Yes, it was coming from a business point of view. But there was also this overwhelming generosity that came from you. And, when you do business, it becomes a bit tricky, right? Because you have these values. You're a giving person. But I also believe that you have contributed so much more to weddings, to people who have had financial issues, people who couldn't, I heard, who couldn't really pay some of the stuff, for especially when they had weddings. How did you not let this generosity get mixed up with the business aspect of it? And slowly, when Sharon came in from a young businesswoman, did she ever tell you, Daddy, why are you doing this? We're running a business, or anyone else.
Yes. I can tell you about it.
Sure.
Okay? So everyone that comes, right?
Yeah.
Jaka used to give me this price.
Yeah.
Jaka used to give me this. Jaka used to do this.
Yeah.
And Jaka used to, not charge me for this.
Okay.
And I used to tell them, but at that time, Jaka used to run the business.
Yes.
Now, it's me.
Yeah.
I have to charge you for it.
Okay.
So I guess I have to be the very stone-hearted person because Jaka is very generous.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's done weddings where until today I even know the people has not paid, so things like that. And he goes like, forget it lah, it's already how many years, no need to ask.
Sure.
We have paid our bills during that time, so it's fine.
Uncle, your dad ran the business during those days. Did this love for giving and this attitude of chalo koi na, did that come from him?
Exactly, it came from him.
Yeah.
Because during my younger days, when I was in the restaurant, if somebody come and say, I got no money yet, or something like that, my dad used to give him free food. And that time, one chapati was only 10 cents.
Yeah.
They had two chapatis, maybe with one dal. It's just a 30 cents. For him, he said, never mind.
Yeah.
It's okay. And then, in the 1950s, when my father used to run the stall, there were a lot of people coming from India and for wherever they are coming from. People are not rich, they don't have money, I don't know where they stay also. So it's kind of just helping each other. Maybe my father also came as a migrant, maybe he also must have suffered something like that. So it was his way of paying back also.
Clearly you have picked up those values from your dad. Uncle Pama also spoke about how you took care of all your siblings and they have reached a stage in life now where everyone is settled. You took on a father's role when you were really, really young. Was it difficult managing a family unit of 8?
To me, it was just like, it is my duty and I have to do it.
Yeah.
So we just carry on, we do it. It's not only me, even my second brother, third brother, especially the 3 elders of us.
Yes.
We all work from the very young age.
Yep.
Very young age. And what was our salary? It's just, during my teenage times, it was only 2-figure salary.
Yep.
And then very rare you get people getting $100 salary and all that. So whatever we used to give our mom.
Yeah.
And she runs that. That's how we just grew up. Every day was another day thinking how today is going to run, but we managed.
And you managed to do that. And when you finally opened your restaurant, instead of thinking about, from the business point of view and how, you want to make profits, you still had this element of giving despite coming from those difficulties. I think that's very touching. And Sharon, how do you try to pick a leaf from that, if you can, or if you would like to?
Yeah, so then here comes when business aspects, right? So we are two of us now, Jack and myself. So I'm the very soft one.
Yeah.
And he's the very strong one.
Sure.
So let's say how my part comes in is everyone knows that, okay, let's call Ma'am Sharon. She'll give it to us.
Yeah.
She'll do it.
Yeah.
So now I put a stop because it kind of climbs over your head.
Yeah.
And then it becomes, so I said, please call Jack. So that's how, because otherwise he will tell me as well, anything they tell you, you will say okay. For me, the hardest thing to ever say is a no.
Definitely.
Yeah. So for me to say no to someone is really tough.
I think especially when they are people within your own community and they know your dad and they know your mom and you have something to live up to.
And even the staff, even everyone. I can't say no. So that it's sometimes that causes anxiety as well. You go like, oh, how do you say no?
Sure.
Yeah.
Uncle, before we end, you contributed a lot with your food units here, the kitchen downstairs, at weddings, at Sangeets, Jannas as well, many of our weddings as well. And basically at one point of time, Khalsa Club and Jagga was synonymous. What did the space in Khalsa meant to you? And do you hold any dear memories of Khalsa Club?
My memories over here, yes, it was more like everything under one roof.
Yeah.
We used to bring the grand side here also for the wedding, which now is not practiced anymore. Then we have the barat coming here.
Yeah.
The bridegroom side, they will be all dressed fantastic.
Yeah.
And the bride side, very simple. Dress, working over the night.
Yeah.
And then just they carry on. Then there is first in the wedding, we serve them breakfast, help each other out. Then the ceremony is there, and then I'll be downstairs here cooking. And at one time, I remember it was such a great wedding. We cooked 600 kilogram of chicken in one pot. That is fantastic. And just a few minutes overcook or what, the whole thing would have smashed the chicken. But we have record. We always do, and I learn it from all our seniors also.
Yeah.
So we have a big achievement doing this, and we never tend to go wrong and all that. So gradually people love us and we love them.
Definitely. You played a huge part in many weddings here. And you represented the weddings in more than just providing the food. I think as family,
Yeah. I think now the weddings I have done earlier, now the grandchildren functions we are doing.
Yeah.
The people come to us and then they say that, okay, you do for me, I'm not going to bargain with you, whatever you charge and all that, I know you do a good job and all that. So we have got this reputation, and and now our juniors, they are doing the rest. They just carry on this legacy.
Before I end the podcast, Uncle, I'll just like to bring everyone's attention to your. You were recently featured in the local newspaper with for celebrating 50 years of your marriage with Auntie Belvinda. It was somewhat displayed as a old-fashioned love story built on resilience, commitment, and shared values. Looking back on your journey with Auntie Belvinda, who I think is one of the most demure women I've met in Singapore, what advice can you give the younger generation on sustaining a marriage? The reason I ask this is because in our community, the divorce rates are going up to have a marriage of 50 years is one thing. To have a love marriage of 50 years is another thing. To sustain it and to keep it going. How do you guys do it?
Well, we just have to cooperate with each other. What? we just cooperate with each other.
Yeah.
Try not to get angry with each other.
Try not to get each other's nerves.
And whatever he said, if you not happy also, just take it. Okay, I will do that. I will do it. I will do that.
Yeah.
And we normally don't quarrel with anything except if it is children, and then it's our both the husband and wife upbringing.
Yeah.
So if we quarrel on that, I think the wife will think he's doing a good job, and I will think she is more concerned or that. So it's our children. So other than that, there are many other things in the house. As we don't go wrong, we won't quarrel. We have the similar story. My dad passed away when I was 15 plus, and I left my school, and then I take care of my siblings. Well, and she was about 14 plus when her mom passed away. She also left school,
right,
and took care of her siblings.
Yeah,
because she had an elder sister who was much better in study, so she let her study so that she take care of the home.
Okay.
So our story is quite similar.
Yeah.
And she had a sibling of six.
Okay.
Sibling of 6. So we grow similar way, and she has seen poverty, I've seen poverty. So we just managed to click with each other. I would say that.
Right.
I think I would want to say at one time in the 1950s and 1960s, our Punjabi population was about 25,000.
That's right.
And then now with the population growth of more than 4 times, instead of increasing, we have decreased to 11,000, 12,000.
Right, you're right.
So we were supposed to be 100,000.
Yes.
And I just want to, every time I get very curious, how come we are not 100,000 here today?
Good question, Uncle.
The newlyweds or whoever, they should work harder.
Yes. Okay.
We have a lot of pass on.
Yes.
I mean, our elders have passed on. At the same time, I think the migration over here for the 6 is not there.
It's not matching up.
It's not matching up. I think something should be done.
Sure, Uncle. Okay. That's a good point actually you brought up. Interesting. Now, like I mentioned, that we can't end the podcast with some fun. So let's just go through this very quickly. We call it a Punjabi quick fire. Both of you can answer this. Who is the morning person, the early riser?
Me?
You are the early riser.
You're comparing with
For now, it's me.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, now I wake up without an alarm clock. I sleep anytime I want and I wake up anytime I want.
Of course, Uncle, it's retirement. Okay. Sharon, what's one business habit your dad refuses to change even though you've tried?
Giving discounts?
Okay. Sharon, growing up, do you have any fond memory of SKA?
Yes.
Tell
I
me.
literally grew up here and SKA was literally my playground.
Yeah.
Yes. So, on the level 1, I think every wedding I probably went uninvited because we were doing the cooking. So, I was just there. And so SKA was was literally our playground. We knew everybody knew us. So I guess it was more of a family, a home.
Yes. So if Riverwalk Tandoor or should I call it Island Catering now? If Island Catering had a celebrity ambassador, who would it be?
Jagtar.
Oh, yep, okay.
Who else?
Yes, who else? Okay. Uncle, this one's for you. Who's the real boss at home? Sharon or Auntie?
I think my wife.
Yeah.
I don't want to say anything and all that. I just keep so I don't have to do anything.
She will say, it takes me 6 months to get 1 bag of atta.
How can it take you all 6 months?
No, because she tells him, can you buy atta?
All right. Sharon, weddings or corporate events?
Corporate events.
Yes. Okay, Uncle, what advice would you never stop giving Sharon even if she rolls her eyes at you?
Stop it.
Keep working as long as you can work.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself at the same time. You can work and enjoy it together.
Yeah.
And once you are retired, don't fully retire. You become very sickly.
Yes.
Keep on working, keep on moving.
Very nice. Thank you, Uncle Jagtar. Thank you, Sharon.
Thank you.
For sharing your hearts and your heritage with us. This has been more than just a conversation. It's a reminder that legacy and businesses aren't built in a day, like you pointed out, Sharon. It's cooked rather slowly with love and patience and with a purpose. To all our listeners, remember that the most ordinary lives can hold the most extraordinary stories. This is SKA Awaaz, Voices That Inspire. I'm Harpreet Kaur. Until next time, Sat Sri Akal.